Welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to talk a bit about how to pay your virtual assistant and kind of how to stay out of trouble, if you like. So as we talked about before, you need to make sure that you get an invoice from your virtual assistant for however much you're paying them. So they're invoicing you for their time and their services. That keeps them self-employed and keeps you out of any kind of link in any trouble with the tax authorities, because they're responsible for paying their tax. So you don't need to get involved in any of that. They are a freelancer that is invoicing you for their time, and that's really important. Obviously, keep that paperwork side of things all good and correct. Make sure they know, and obviously the way that your processes will work. They are not an employee. They are providing you with a service. They need to send you an invoice for that work. In terms of actually paying them, the best ways to pay virtual assistant probably via Payoneer or PayPal. PayPal seems to be the most popular. Sometimes we do have issues with virtual assistants in the Philippines where there might be a PayPal issue, so bear that in mind, but PayPal is probably the easiest. Obviously, bear in mind that when you first employ them, there's no build-up of trust. So although you might want to pay them monthly eventually, doing it weekly is quite a good thing to start with, because you can't expect them to work for a month and not get paid when they don't really know you that well yet. So start weekly and then ask them about changing it to monthly, but you might want to do it gradually, so maybe then move to 2 weeks, so that then they're not going from weekly to waiting a whole month to getting any money. If you pay through Upwork, that's fine, because they kind of take the money and it's held in escrow, and neither of you have access to it until you both say it's okay to share it. So that works quite well. Otherwise, Payoneer or PayPal work really well. It's worth bearing in mind that Upwork take 20% of the salary as kind of their fee. So that's why you might find that people, their hourly rates of pay are slightly higher than anywhere else. It's because they obviously have to take that 20% into account. As I mentioned previously, don't forget a slight cultural difference. If you're hiring any virtual assistants from the Philippines at Christmas, it is kind of a thing that they expect a 13-month payment. So in that period, you're probably going to be paying them 2 months salary rather than one. So definitely something to bear in mind. Obviously, it looks great if you're culturally aware and you know that that's a thing, but also to bear in mind for your budget as well. And lastly, if for any reason they leave, please pay them for the work that they have done. It's decency, it's karma, and ultimately it's fair. So that is kind of, how to pay your virtual assistant and make sure you keep out of trouble in terms of the paperwork side of things, that they are not an employee and they are invoicing you for their work. See you in the next video.